He was going to be here last month.
Okay.
All right, let's get, you got it on?
Been in the family since
Thank you.
1812.
All right, guys, it's 3 o'clock.
1812.
Let's do it. Quentin, how much time did you spend thinking about Shade Tree this month?
20 hours.
20, good. Good. Zane,
12.
really? That's all after all that work?
Yeah, I spent more than that. We'll do 15. It's not as much as mine.
Okay. Laura, Colleen, I don't know. Sarah, I got. Okay, I got everybody so far. All right. So, we know that Dwayne was probably not going to be here today. Sarah or Colleen should be here, but she's got a busy day. So, you want to hold off on the minutes and see if she shows up? Because we don't really have, with 3 of us, I really don't think we can pass anything. All right. So, and then on the financial side, I haven't gotten word yet that the budget has been approved, so we're still working on our interim budget, so we have money to do things if we need to. So before we go any further, we have a guest today, Susan Givens from the Town and Country Garden Club is here to talk with us. Well, I understood
I'm
that
here to find out. Thank
you
you.
have to step up to the podium, please.
Okay.
They record everything and it lets her keep it in the minutes. Yeah, you have to keep your tongue. It's not that bad.
I'm not sure so I should do this. Town and Country Garden Club has money to donate. Several years ago, I think it was in 21, Brian Ball came to the meeting and talked about the city parks and a master plan. And I understand that the master plan has been approved. Yes, no? I think it is.
Our council liaison is
Yes,
not
all
here. It
right.
has been approved.
So the question was, what does the master plan need in the way of plants? In the master plan, as I understood, there were some buildings and upgrades to toilets and that sort of thing. Maybe benches, railings, what have you. The garden club, I think, is mostly interested in things that grow
Yes.
in the way of trees and that sort of thing. So I wanted to find out what if is on the list of the wish list in the way of green things.
It's a darn good question. We saw the master plan last year as it was proposed. I didn't know that it had been approved.
Let me go grab a copy of it.
You want to grab, that'd be great. So when they do that, Memorial Park, they were going to redesign the ball fields, the layout of the ball fields. Some of the other parks got athletic equipment or exercise equipment, things like that. So anything they do like that is, it's great, needs to be done, but we can't plant things until they have their stuff done.
All right, so you're not, in most cases, you're not ready to plant anything.
No, I wouldn't,
Yet.
not yet. I
Well-
don't know what their timeline is even.
If we get a few more members to our club, it might have another lunch or two, which means they might have another auction or two, and we will hopefully have money in the future. So if there isn't anything immediately on the wish list for green things, we'll just keep, I guess it's the Shade Tree Commission that will do the green things for parks.
That's correct.
All right, well then I will keep the Shade Tree Commission.
Right. A few years ago, and I don't remember when it was when we started Arboretum there in the West Aerial. Your committee put in 3 trees out there. They did a redbud and what was that, Brian? There was a redbud. Was it a magnolia or something?
Big dogwood.
A big dogwood. And
And I think maybe a big hawthorn or something.
Hawthorn.
There were 3 native.
3 big native trees that you put in. They're still there. They're doing very well. And then we added to it from there. We will be adding more trees again this year into that area. And then the rest of it, we're just planting around town. I don't think we're doing anything in the parks until they get things done. Is that a fair statement? That we
First
wouldn't
half of the statement?
that we wouldn't plant anything until they've done their hard work.
Yeah, generally, we want to do all the hardscaping and earth moving and stuff before we plant anything, because we don't want to ask contractors to be
Careful.
because they won't listen anyway. They're just gonna, anything
Yeah,
that's
they
in
put
the
a
way.
bulldozer on the,
Yeah.
on the roots.
Yeah, they'd rather just replant the stuff than
Yeah.
be careful and go around it. So, yeah. The first thing that we're working on and hoping to get through is the splash pad at Riverside Park.
Heard that.
So that was an item in the Parks Master Plan. It was one of the top things that people wanted to see in their parks. The next thing that we'll be working on, hopefully this fall, or it'll probably be more like next spring or over the winter, would be installing a bathroom at Harmony Playground at Memorial Park. Do you know where the Harmony Playground
Yeah, I
is?
do.
So that would be a bathroom and a sidewalk there. The Parks Master Plan doesn't get too detailed. It's pretty vague in general. It doesn't give specific plans for anything. It's more like options and what the needs are. So we don't really have detailed designs of these are the areas we'd like to be landscaped, or
All right.
these are the kinds of flowers that we want here or there. I think it's something that we would probably just be open to discussing and working with the Parks Department to determine what areas that they think would benefit from some additional, and they'd probably be open to your input as well.
Well, I don't know that our input, we eat lunch.
And they eat some very good lunches. yeah.
Eats lunch and has an auction and gives money away. So Sarah and I will have lunch on Friday at the Town and Country Garden Club meeting. So you can keep us abreast of,
Well, my question based on this is there a park or an area that is not going to be touched that I feel like if you say we're not that far along with the parks and we need to wait, then probably the money has to go somewhere else sooner. So we have to raise more, which is more lunches.
Shellmar Park shouldn't be touched.
But is there something that is like ready now for plantings that doesn't have
yeah,
plants?
that's a good question. That's a good question, Sarah.
Shellmar Park. I don't want to say anything about any of the existing parks that we plan to do any work in, because none of that is set in stone. So until we have final drawings from an architect that say this is what we're going to do, nothing is off the table.
Okay, but Shalimar Park is,
Shellmar Park is a brand new park.
It's a brand new park.
We
They
have no
won't be
reason
doing,
to do anything
they
there.
won't be doing anything else in there. And we've got quite a few trees in there.
But it could use some
We planted,
forms or something.
we've got some ivory silk lilac along Marion Avenue. We've got a couple of sycamores in there. There's a buckeye, bur oak, a red point maple. There was that brandywine maple that we got from Tree City that one year. Back in the corner, there's a grove of black walnut. We did some arborvitae around the Cumberland Gas has a gas pump station building there, and we did some arborvitae around that. So there is some green space in there. The biggest problem we have with that is Cumberland Gas has a major gas line that pretty much runs through the middle of it, and we have to stay 25 feet away from that. So the green space we have is pretty much because of gas lines.
Would the park want something that's not a tree, but it's still a plant, or do we only do trees?
No, we did hydrangeas next to the archway when we put them in.
It depends. I can't speak for Randy, but what my understanding is it's going to depend on how much maintenance it's going to be for them. They don't want something
yeah.
that they're going to have to go through and spend, hours pruning or
pruning,
maintaining.
yeah.
It's one thing to, maybe throw some mulch down, but even then, that's, an additional place that they have to haul mulch in and
Yeah.
I
take
feel,
down, so.
I feel like last meeting it came up as just sort of a comment, perhaps from Brian, about like daffodils that could naturalize somewhere. Is that something?
That's something. We've done that.
I don't know if that's something-
Arch Avenue Park, we planted a dike full of daffodils. That looks great. We did a bunch on the riverbank there at the CNC depot. A lot of them got dug up when they put the new pathway under, but a lot of them came back. So there's plenty of room there. The Career Center students planted those for us. And we did some at Riverside Park out by the Ball Diamond. We did a section there and then we never got back to it.
Did we ever put any on Mount Vernon Avenue going off around the curve?
There was some that we put on the south side, the side where the gas line is, that we couldn't really legally plant anything in, but we did put some daffodils in there.
Talking about where it curves into Edgewood?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the south side, there's a big gas line there. That's why we haven't done anything on that
Where the
side of it.
spruce trees and stuff are planted on that
Yeah, on the
bank
north side
there.
of the road.
On the north side, yeah, where we just did all the pines and things, no, we haven't planted anything additional there.
Yeah, that would look pretty, and that garden club, that look,
Put a sign up there.
garden club or flowers, that's.
Yeah.
We also talked about the flags and flowers and like entrances into the city and stuff.
Well,
Any interest in or the possibility in those?
I talked to Tanner about that briefly, and I don't, it's not all official yet, but a lot of the flags and flower program, they're looking for community buy-in. The Kiwanis, the Lions, all the local civic organizations getting involved. And the flags are gonna be, we will put a flagpole mount at your porch and you can fly an American flag. And then flowers, you plant flowers that help in your you plant them, you take care of them to bring up the neighborhood. They said that to create kind of more of a neighborhood feel. And the civic organizations would be involved in donating the funds for the flags and the flowers. We could probably get the flowers because there'd be annuals. A lot of them would be annuals. They'd come from Lowe's or some greenhouse. I couldn't think of a greenhouse in the area other than Lowe's, and they ship them in. So yeah, that program is designed, or the initial groundwork is being laid, so it's not city employees or city doing it. It's residents doing it. Community doing it for the community.
Back in the olden days, Town and Country Garden Club did all of the planting and provided tree trimming in front of the Y, which is all gone. It used to be geraniums and hosta and all that stuff. And now,
Yeah, we got some trees in there.
25 years later, can't even bend over, so we don't plant anymore. We pay other people to bend over and,
Well, like
so-
what Quentin said with the restrooms at the Harmony Playground being maybe a spring, summer project next
Well,
year.
next year.
Spring, summer. But once that facility's in, that's there. It's not gonna get moved by bulldozers or worked around.
Right,
So that opens that area to
To
trees
something
and
green.
things. To
Yeah,
something
and the
green.
splash pad would be something we're hoping to break ground and get it in this summer, so.
The
yeah.
splash pad.
Will you need any further trees or planting near it?
So we
Is
are,
it shade for the old people who are sitting on the bench with grandchildren?
so there are a couple trees I think that are gonna come out, because of the kind of trees they are. They don't think would work well with the splash pad. I can't remember if they were
Larch.
spruce or the big evergreens that are
Yeah,
there.
they're the larch.
They were worried about the litter getting in there. So
Mhm.
there's gonna be a couple trees that are now providing shade that could probably be replaced with something else, maybe similar spot but a different kind of tree. And-
Well, if the tree is okay, I'm all in favor of keeping old trees. Me, I look at all the old trees around my house, and every time the wind blows, I think, oh my God, there's another branch coming down. So if some additional trees or more appropriate trees were, be a possibility.
I think it's possible, yeah. I think we should probably take a month to think about it and come back with an answer at the next meeting. Is that?
Even if we decide to plant anything there, we will not plant until next year at this time.
All right,
It'll be
fine.
fall. It'll be a
All
fall
right.
project.
Then
so we might
I think
be
that-
looking at some other places to plant this spring that, I could talk with Brian and see what other areas that aren't just coming to mind right now would be good for planting.
All right.
Okay.
I think the best thing for Town and Country Garden Club over lunch should do is wait until this time next year, and come back.
Or in the fall, like in October, November.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And see what we've done
yeah,
for the summer, what
Yes.
we need and where
Yeah.
we can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we raise money in December, we don't meet in January and February, so we wouldn't be making any decisions until February, March.
Okay. And that's
So-
still a reasonable time to get trees in, Brian? Is that,
Within reason, yeah.
Well, we could make the contribution and you could put them in the fall.
That's what we
And
do
that-
most of our planning down
Yeah.
here is in the fall.
Yeah,
yeah, they start
know.
in October, November.
And
Yeah.
even planting daffodils is in the fall.
right,
daffodils
right,
would be a
right,
fall thing.
Right,
And we,
all right.
we buy our daffodils from, yeah, I wanted to say Am Leonard, but it's not
Is it
Am Leonard.
Rumen or,
Leo Burpee.
okay.
Leo Burpee's who I've always bought the bulbs from, and we've always had very good results and good response from them.
Okay. All right, well, my purpose of being here was to find out if you needed some money for some places in parks.
The answer is yes, but
But
not
not
right
yet.
this minute.
Okay, Sarah? You're in charge.
Okay.
Yay, Sarah! Thank you very much. We appreciate
You're
your
welcome.
offer, and we like
Yeah.
working with you.
Oh.
Here,
No, I'm glad. I'm glad you like that. We had fun.
yes, that's what it's all about. That's why we do what we do, isn't
You know, we
it?
helped-
Say yes.
we helped send the kids from the Career Center into competition. And for the last 2 years, they went to Mississippi. But this year, they're going to Utah.
Sounds like you wanna go with them.
I do. I do. I'd love to go with them. All right, thanks.
Thank you
thanks
very
for your
much.
time.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Have a great afternoon.
Thanks. Working on it.
That's all we can do. Okay. Well, we'll go on to the TCP program. I believe that's all completed. I know that your portion is
My
completed.
portion's completed and paid. Yay.
And paid, yeah.
Thank you.
Dwayne's is done.
His Dwayne is done, okay.
I did get an email from Colleen today that she said there were 2 trees that
Yeah,
we
one
weren't
was,
sure about, that, did those get done too?
one is, we went to see the people, and I was with Colleen, and I think Dwayne was supposed to follow up on it or something, so it wasn't on his list.
Okay.
So, but we got the tree ready to plant it when we do all the stuff out south side of town for Colleen's stuff, so it's kinda in with her stuff. And then the other tree was a paper bark maple, which was your,
That was on my list, though.
okay,
That was
that
on
was
it.
your brother-in-law.
Oh,
And
yeah?
he didn't want it, so.
Oh, he decided he didn't
I
want it.
had 2 people who didn't want them. That was one,
Yeah,
and then the other were folks along Syker. Remember they wanted,
so I think we're good as far as I know.
Okay.
So
Good.
are those trees
Because
going
I
somewhere
had,
else?
I had
or-
4 trees total that weren't planted. 2 from Sarah's list, 2 from Dwayne's list. I just wanna make sure that's it, so I can close those
I think,
purchase orders out.
I think we're
Okay.
good as far as I know.
Well, those trees will find homes. Guarantee we'll find
Paper
homes.
bark maple's going to my house.
Well, okay, it already did find a home.
The guy said though, that, your brother-in-law, they said, that's their favorite customer so far down there. They had fun with him.
Oh, good. He can be a character, yes.
Yeah.
Well, good, very good. What were the other 3 trees that you keep in the paper bark? You remember offhand? You said them.
One's a sweet gum.
Okay.
the other one from my list was like a crimson, whatever decorative. It was matching the house next door has one.
Oh, Crimson King Maple.
It was a decorative, it was a smaller, like reddish tree.
Okay,
I could probably look.
Purple Prince or Royal Range.
Yeah,
Rock.
maybe.
Yeah, well, I just, because we've got those 66 trees going in Hiawatha, I wondered if any of those might fit into that program.
Probably could.
Yeah. Well, if we need a place to plant them, we can find a place. Okay. All right, then,
We could plant the sweet gum down by,
It's got a home. It's
Oh, it's got a home?
It's got a home.
Okay.
it's got a home. Okay, okay. Well, so the TCP program went really, basically pretty well this year. Sounds like. That's good. And that was like almost 80 trees or so. That's really good.
70s.
77? Very good. That's 50 homeowners that'll be a little happier. Well, we have the grants on here. Colleen manages all those. But I do have some questions. Now that TCP's done, and have you talked with Colleen? Where are you heading in town next?
Out here.
Division.
What's that, Sarah, what's that called? What's the one we're doing now? What's it called?
Is that the division?
Martinsburg Road
Martinsburg Road.
Martinsburg
yeah.
Road. Okay. So that's Martinsburg Road and
and South Division.
South Division Street, the church,
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That's all on the east side of Martinsburg Road, right?
Correct.
I don't know if there might have been some. Did any homes on the west side? No, there's a little bit on the west
There's
side.
a little bit on the west. I don't think most.
Are they gonna be back, they're gonna be back in the yards though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we removed the trees from the tree lawn in there. That was part of the deal on that too. We had some really craggy trees in there that needed to go.
Well, a few of them's on yours. On the.
We had a couple of trees taken
Yeah.
out, but they're not going in the tree line.
I just wanna be sure that we're not, so we're gonna be adding sidewalk to the west side of Martinsburg Road. I know.
We're well away from that.
Yeah, okay.
We're good.
Then we're good.
We're good, yeah.
Okay. All right. And then we flagged the dog shelter and then there was the Humane Society. And Colleen has a list of that, and I told her I'd go out and flag it. So since you're going to be in that area of town, you're just going to kind of do all that first?
That's the plan.
Okay. And that would include, we got high school, middle school offices, so the offices are right there off of Martinsburg. That'll be good. Very good. I've got the fire station on here, corner of Mulberry. You got a couple trees going in there. I think they were replacements. Do you remember what those were?
I think one of them was. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I think
and
one might have been an
put you to
item.
task. I know Colleen has it all written down. Okay. All right. You got the, well, that's Memorial Park by the Bolt. Are you gonna do Mulberry Park or Mulberry? Memorial Park, we had 3 swamp white oaks we're gonna put there by the concession stand and then replace the 4 oaks at Ariel. So that's gonna kind of all happen with that too?
Yeah, when Danny gets moving those ones across the street at the new church, we'll probably start doing all those at the same time.
Okay, so that'll all kind of fall together.
It's
Okay,
coming up pretty quickly.
very good. What's the timeline on Sandusky Street sidewalk? You guys have a timeline?
Sandusky Street sidewalk?
Yes.
Construction should happen this year. It's not gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be the first project we work on, but it'll be happening this summer.
So it's gonna,
It should be, once they do it, shut it down in like 2 weeks, 2
yeah,
or 3 weeks. It
come
should
in and
be.
just knock it out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, I think that answers my questions on the grant, so I think we're in good shape on all that. That's good. Okay, so do we have anything going at Bee City, Quentin? You'd asked about cages last time. Were you able to, did you get any? What'd you do?
So, yeah, I guess I should come up and talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And by the way, I gave Tanner a hard time about starting Bee City and walking away.
Well, he came back.
Yeah, he came back.
So, I mean, he hasn't helped with B City since he came back, but you know, he is back. So, so we actually got all the trees that we had, trees and forbs and shrubs, planted. Just yesterday they finished up. We started Sunday.
50 in yesterday.
They're not big. Most of them are tomato cage size
Yeah.
plants. We taped them all, pink tape, so we can go back and find them. We've talked with Scott. Scott was supposed to get all of the cages gathered up for us, and then we can either work with Scott or the Parks Department to go get them, or we can do them ourselves. I'm not worried about putting the cages on there. It'll be a lot easier than it was actually planting the plants. So it looks like we should have enough. I mean, we'll know once we get out there.
Yeah.
But
And we bought those square ones from Rural King. So.
Yeah.
When that's coming time, they'll be stocking them here soon anyway, so if we need more, we can grab more then.
We're gonna get the tomato cages from the parks department, and we're gonna grab the cages from the failed chestnuts just across, by the lime ponds. And I don't know what our total number are.
Well, the chestnuts are actually right by the,
Oh, yeah, it's
they're
good.
across the river, right by the
Yeah,
Parks
they're on-
Department, really.
Yeah.
Not quite near the lime ponds. They're like by the greenhouse
Okay.
and all that, yeah.
Yeah, they put a new fence up along there too.
Well, they did.
Yeah, yeah, they extended from the stadium to the river. Because I used to park at the ice cream place and walk down the dike and go in
Okay.
and look at the chestnuts and that. When I last time in there, they were putting posts in. Like they were
I
gonna
didn't
put a
know
fence
that. Okay.
across there.
Did any of the chestnuts make it?
We had 58 that made it.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
We started with 100, right?
98 I
90,
think it was.
okay.
That's pretty good.
So we lost 40, yeah.
That's super.
And they, they said that 15, 16 variety was iffy, that they couldn't guarantee anything would happen with them. So I think we want to pull the cages from them, but then do we want to wait? We want to wait till they're green and so we know which cages to pull. Wouldn't you think?
Well, they would be starting to bud already,
Would they?
with how warm it's been. I think so.
Okay, well.
We can wait a couple weeks. We want to definitely use the cages that we have available
Yeah.
as soon as we can to prevent the loss of the.
Some of them are going to be very obvious. They're
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
But, so, yeah, I'd say pull them, as long as we just don't want to pull them from trees that are surviving.
Right.
I want to try to keep them again.
Yep.
And I think it'd be a good idea to water those again this year.
When they got
Probably.
last year or 2 years ago?
Last year.
Last year, yeah.
We did it because they were just those saplings. Just do the water buckets again.
Yeah, they vary from about like this big to like this.
Yeah.
big.
Yeah. That's basically what we planted too
Yeah.
over the weekend.
Okay. Very good. Is B City going to do table at First Fridays again this year?
Yep.
So we need to get a invoice or a quote or something so we can get a PO for
Yep.
that?
I'll have Jason work on getting a quote from them so that we can get a purchase order and get that paid because that's going to be soon.
Yeah, when does that start? Do we know?
June.
June.
Yeah, no idea if it'll be the same fee as last year.
Or May.
I think we paid 150 last year for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that for the
Yeah,
season
yeah, for the season.
or what?
However many they do.
I
I
think
never-
it's 4 or 5 of them.
It generally works out, that's the Friday I'm heading to Michigan. So I haven't been to a First Friday in a long time. Okay. One thing that we didn't mention to Susan Givens was the ditch on Beach Street. Now that we're talking about B City.
Yeah, so we're kind of hold off on that
Okay.
a little bit.
And wait till we get the trees in and go from there.
There's some stuff potentially happening in that area that we just want to hold off on doing anything that we might end up.
Is that like
Carrying
a
out.
connecting road?
I mean, there's just some improvements to the intersection there. I think, as you know, we're planning on putting a police station in that very close by there. So Brian's hesitant to do anything that we might have to tear out or might be affected by the construction. So I
Right.
think your trees will be fine.
Yeah,
I'm not
'cause
worried
we
about
don't-
those.
okay.
But the ditch itself, as far as a stormwater feature, might change. I don't know. So,
Okay. All right, then we'll hold off. Good deal. Thank you.
yep.
Okay. Questions, and you guys are good so far? Okay. I got Arbor Day on here. We're gonna meet with Knox County Head Start, Knox County Developmental Disabilities here after the meeting today to discuss the program for that. We have a Big John tree going into their outdoor environmental area. They call it the canoe, and she told me what the acronym stood for, but I don't know. But they do have a canoe out there in their playground, so it's kind of neat. When I was out there with Colleen the other day, one of the kids said, "What are you putting in trees?" He said, "I'd like apple trees." And they do have a small garden there, so that'll be something we'll talk about today. Maybe we can put some apple trees in for them. The area where the Big John is going, it's the only tree in that area, and it's a decent sized area. they need more trees back there. So we'll talk about that and see what we can do for Arbor Day with that. I don't have anything else to say about Arbor Day. Anybody got anything else about Arbor Day? Okay, so then I got a couple other things on my list here. Gambier Park, the trellis there, when we put that in, we planted clematis on it and we put knockout roses in the rose bed. The one clematis died, and that was a clematis that blooms in the fall. Remember what kind that was? You put it in.
Is that a white one?
Yeah,
Is it Bridal Veil?
it's called autumn something,
Oh. There is one called Bridal Veil.
could be.
But it got humongous. I don't know. The other one's doing very well, but that one died for whatever reason.
I can ask my wife what it is and she'll know.
Okay. Well, we're gonna need another clematis for that, and then probably another 2 or 3 of the roses. I think there's only 3 rose bushes left there, and I think we started with 6 or 8. So a few more rose bushes. And we got those all from you, and those are still available, kind of things.
Yeah, we can, knockouts are always available.
Okay, so, do you want me to call Cheryl and have her do a quote, or will you remember to ask her? Or is she gonna be out there when you leave?
She'll be out there.
Okay, maybe I'll try to remember when we leave. Okay. We got that. Then we purchased 100 water bags from A.M. Leonard. We had our list, we had almost 300 bags left from John May's list, so we decided another 100 would be good. So we bought another 100, they've just been delivered. We paid $16.97, I think, for the 100, so that was not really a bad price. I thought they would go up a lot more than that. Then I got to looking at how many trees we're gonna be putting in this year, and I wondered if it might not be a good idea to buy another 100. Even if we don't use them this year, to have them, because the chances are good they're gonna go up. I was surprised they didn't go up more than they did. $16.67 is what we paid for 100 of them. So 17 bucks a piece. That's, I think when we first started buying them, we were buying the Gator bags, the brand name Gator bags. I think we were paying $20 or $25 for those. These are the A.M. Leonard, they call them Leonard Arbor Rain Tower Plant and Tree Hydrator. Say that fast a couple times, yeah. It's a water bag.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys think it's a good idea to spend another $1,600 and have bags if we need them, and buy them while they're a little less expensive, or if you want to wait until next year.
Is it a one and done, they go in and then we can reuse them?
We reuse them, depends on the damage. Some people weed eat them, the lawnmower guys lawnmower them. Things happen to them.
Do you know how many we had before you purchased the?
Yeah, I was looking for my list, but oh, here it is. We had 313 water bags. And we usually we usually water in the area of 300 trees, what we water, and then we've got 77 TCP trees going in. So, we probably have enough tree bags right now for this year. But I didn't get a solid number on how many trees we're putting in. I think we're gonna wind up with more than 300.
It seems like it goes up every year.
Yeah.
The number of trees we put in.
Well, and then the High Point condos, is that what it is? High Point?
High Meadow.
High Meadow condos, they're putting 60-some trees in there, and they're gonna contract with us to water them, so that's another 60-some bags there. So, I kinda think we ought to
Seems
buy
like you
another
just
100.
answered your question.
Yeah, I did I keep talking, I'll get my answer, won't I? Yeah. So I think that we should order another 100 of those. All right. Yep. I just needed to say it out loud instead of me just being a dictator and doing it. I try to bring it to the commission, even though it's what I want to do. Then the Tree City Banquet this year is May 9th. It's in Worthington?
Yes.
Worthington. It's on a Thursday. We're going to get the Tree City Award, and we will get a Growth Award this year. So anybody that can go would be good.
I forget if it said how
It
what you
was-
need to know by.
It was a save the date. That one was a save the date. They haven't officially sent out the applications yet. I assume we'll be getting them soon, so Once we do, we'll just need to find out who's going so we can get a purchase order done and get them paid for. But for that kind of a thing, the more the merrier for me. And then 2 years ago, we did the volcano mulch flyer in the water bill. That was our second or third time we'd done that, and I think this would be a good year to do it again. But then I'd also like to do one with the spotted lanternfly. They were, last spring, Cleveland was the closest. Through the summer, they made it into Columbus. So I think it won't be long before we'll be seeing them around here.
Well, they'd be here if they're in those two places, I guess.
Yeah.
Do
They're-
we
well,
try to
they're-
do it on one bill or on
Go
separate?
front and back?
Well,
or-
no. I mean, we could try to reword and rework everything to put it on one, or do you want it to be two separate?
I don't know. You know, the volcano mulch flyer, the way it is, looks good. It's got a lot of good information on it. It's got the websites. It's got, there's a YouTube video, links to how to do it properly. I think that's a good educational thing the way it is. Lanternfly, I have to go down to the OSU Extension office and get some information from them and work out some kind of flyer for that. But the lanternflies are hitchhikers. They don't fly real well, but they hitchhike really well. So that's how I think that's the main way they spread is by riding along on trucks and things, winding up where they are. They love grapes. They love tree of heaven, but they'll eat anything. I shouldn't say kill. They'll eat anything. They're sap suckers. They lay their eggs. They go underneath into the Cambrian layer and they just suck the tree dry. The program right now is you see it, you kill it. They don't have any other kind of measures so far that I've read where they can spray for them. Like they don't call it the gypsy moth. They changed the name of the gypsy moth. Whatever, they changed the name. They were coming in from the west. They were in Centerburg last year, so they're going to be in this year. I'll be in our area this year. They do the aerial sprays for those. They spray the pesticide in the trees, and then in the breeding season they spray the pheromones that keeps them confused so they don't breed as much. So that'll be going on around here too. Nothing the public can do about that. The lanternfly, I think, if we can make the public aware of that, we've got a better chance of killing a few.
Who's the they who spray, like if who will spray for the gypsy one, or the formerly known as gypsy ones?
That's a
State.
I think that's a USDA or the ODNR. I'm not sure who does that. I remember reading it, but
I'm just
I don't-
curious, do they let the city or know when they're coming, or is that just like it just happens?
That
You
I
hear
don't
about
know.
it?
I just,
Maybe Brian does, but-
I read an article about it last year where they were on the eastern, or the western side. Did I say either coming from the east or coming from the west? The western side of the county. That's the bad thing about being old like me. If I don't write it down, I don't remember, and then my details get sketchy. Or I could say 55,000 instead of 500,000. Or birch and beech and all those other things that I do.
Or the spongy moth and lanternfly, is that something we can talk with Head Start or whatever and just do kind of like a small program as like an outreach for?
Like train them to go out and kill them?
No, just
Yes.
as an awareness. Yeah. Yeah, here's fly swatters, go get them.
Yeah. Stomp 'em.
Just as an awareness
Yeah.
outreach thing, because parents will be there and then they may look for it. I don't know.
Well, and the lanternfly, when they're mature, they're a pretty looking bug. You know, they got the spots and the red wings and all. So, could
Yeah.
be,
You could also have a, shade tree
Table.
table. at
Can we
First
rent the
Fridays,
corner of your
or
table?
You could share a table with D-City, we could do a joint table. You can get a volunteer there once a month, talk about trees, promote Tree City Partners, and hand out these sorts of flyers.
That'd be a good idea.
Because we get a broader reach at the First Fridays. It's not just people in Mount Vernon, it's people around Knox County, which is one of the reasons we like it, because it's educational for everybody. And the more we do around Mount Vernon helps us.
yes.
We We could kill all the lanternflies in Mount Vernon, but if Clinton Township doesn't get their lanternflies killed, we're gonna have them.
Yeah, we're gonna get them. And we did
We talked-
something on First Friday.
I was gonna say, we talked a little bit maybe about a billboard or something fly on it last year. I have no idea how much that costs.
Yeah, I
but-
don't know. I'll have to call
Like the-
Lind and see what they do. See if they do it as a public service. PSA.
Like the one. That's the most viewed.
Yeah.
I just think when you're educating kids and stuff, you wanna try to be positive and everything and not get too
Yeah,
negative on
that's
the
true.
bugs and
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
because,
Yeah,
it's like trying to get beginning beekeepers and all they do is talk about bee diseases. It's like talking about turning people off.
Yeah.
You know.
That sounds like a lot of work, yeah, and effort and tragedy, so.
Yeah. Well, see them kill them though. That might be attractive to
Yeah.
little ones. Yeah. Oh, where'd that bug squish?
they'll just start killing everything.
Yeah, then everything goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
With the First Friday thing, a few years ago, we did one First Friday. We brought the water truck in, had the water truck sitting on the square, and we gave away bare root. I think they might have been dogwoods. And the vast majority of the people that took them were not from Mount Vernon.
Yep. I think Jason said similar things when he had hands out seeds.
Yeah, the people from Mount Vernon didn't come by. They didn't want, but the people from out of town came by to see what we had, and what we were doing. And we thought, if you're going to plant it, plant it. We'd rather have it in the ground growing anywhere than not. All right. Does anybody else have anything else? Other than the minutes? Should we approve them? There's three of us, 3 of 5, that's a quorum, isn't it?
Majority. So you're not a voting member though, are you?
My name's on the list.
You should be.
I don't know how the rules work.
I don't remember.
Can you defer till next meeting and approve them both? Just and last?
Yes.
I don't
Alright.
have meetings, the notes from the last meeting.
You don't have them?
I
Okay.
don't have them.
All right. So we will not do anything with the minutes this meeting. We will do them next meeting. And get Laura on the list.
I've got to talk to Todd. I keep telling him to put her on the list.
If
I
you
got the
just,
first one in like October, but
But you
either
haven't got
October
it
or
since
November,
I've
but
told him
since
every
then I
month.
haven't gotten it yet.
if they just use the Shade Tree Google group,
Uh-huh.
send it to Shade Tree at Mount Vernon, Ohio, she's on that.
Yes.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
print it off and then
Yeah,
send
you
it
don't even
that
have
way.
to add anybody if you do that. It'll go to
Okay.
everybody.
Well, it goes through my program that I do the minutes in.
Yeah.
And automatic, and I can't even see the list, and then
Yeah.
Todd has to, but yeah, I will do that. I'll make sure that it
And
goes.
that's
through
easier
there.
for us to update. So
Okay.
if he just does that, then as
Okay,
people
sure.
we want to add, I can update that really easily.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll try to get you on the list. You've been thinking about us, but we haven't been
I've
thinking
been
about
thinking
you.
about it a lot.
We haven't thought about you at all. We
Nobody
haven't seen
thinks
you
about
minutes.
me. I'm used to it.
All right, well, hey, we're done early. Unless anybody has something. Bang. We're gonna get some things done this year. All
You
right.
wanna adjourn, Jim?
Yeah, we need someone to,
I move that we adjourn.
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we're officially adjourned.
Thank you.
I'll have to get Maureen back here.
Okay, we're live until she comes and turns us off.
Barbie Bar, we need to move from Delaware to Riverview. Right about that.
We're gonna move it from where?
1700 Old Delaware. So I think that's the plan, to do Riverview Park, front sense.
I told the folks at Knox DD that we met until 4, so we'll be out
Okay.
shortly after 4. So they're not really expecting us till
And that's on Upper Gilchrist.
Pardon me?
It's up on Upper Gilchrist.
Upper Gilchrist, yeah, you turn, we drove back there and went through that new subdivision. Well, just to your right, there's the health department,
From
then Knox
Riverview
DD, and then
Park
they're
to
building the
1700.
apartments.
Okay,
So it's the last drive before the apartments.
okay.